The pool gate slammed open at 7:02 a.m. like a judge's gavel in a bad dream, and there she stood, Linda Voss, HOA enforcer extraordinaire. Phone already rolling, voice dripping that fake sweet syrup she saved for violators. Step away from the facility immediately, Mr. Hayes. This is private property under board authority. I hadn't even set my towel down. The water was glass still, sunrise painting the desert mountains gold, and every neighbor peeking from their patios already knew the show was starting. Linda had been the self-appointed guardian of Saguaro Springs for 2 years, ever since she clawed her way onto the board. She wore pastel polos like armor and quoted bylaws the way other people quoted scripture. Section 7.4 clearly states access is regulated for the safety and harmony of all. She'd coo while her eyes stayed ice cold. Harmony, apparently, meant her deciding who got to breathe the chlorine air and when. My family had moved here for that promised peace, quiet cul-de-sacs, shared amenities, dues that supposedly kept everything fair. The pool wasn't a luxury. It was where my wife and I reset after 12-hour shifts at the hospital, where our 10-year-old learned to cannonball without city traffic roaring in the background. On paper, it was ours. In Linda's world, it was hers. It started small, the way all control freaks test the water. One Saturday I showed up at 6:45 with my coffee, and she appeared out of nowhere, clipboard clicking like a rattlesnake. Pool hours begin at 8, Mr. Hayes. You're setting a dangerous precedent. Never mind that the posted sign still said sunrise to sunset, and never mind that the Thompson kids had splashed until 9:15 the night before with 0 notes. I smiled, nodded, and left, then quietly emailed the entire board, just confirming the current posted hours per the governing documents you sent me last year. No accusations. Just paper. Linda's reply came 12 hours later, 2 paragraphs of legalese that somehow never answered the question. That was her first mistake. She thought silence would make me fold. Instead, I started a folder. By month 3 the folder was thick. Selective enforcement became her signature move. My neighbor's teenage daughter hosted 6 friends for a birthday flow-tie party. Crickets. I brought my 1 kid and a couple of pool noodles, and suddenly it was guest limit violation, $75 fine. She'd patrol the deck in slow motion, eyes scanning for the tiniest infraction, always loud enough for the retirees reading their Kindles to hear. We do this for the children, you understand. The children who weren't even there. Dark comedy gold. Except it wasn't funny when the same woman who preached community started making my family feel like intruders in our own backyard. Then came the cameras. 3 sleek black domes appeared overnight, all aimed at the exact lounge chairs my family used. No meeting notice, no vote, just lenses staring like judgmental ants. Linda started showing up with printed stills, time-stamped, red circles around my flip-flops. You were here at 7:12 last Tuesday. That's a documented breach. I asked, politely in writing, for the board resolution authorizing the installation and the privacy policy. Her answer? Security is non-negotiable. Translation, because I said so. Meanwhile, my documentation grew, screenshots, emails, timestamps, even the little post-it she once stuck on my windshield that read, "Next time it's the sheriff." Each page was a quiet brick in the wall I was building around her. The neighborhood felt it too. Invitations dried up. Conversations stopped mid-sentence when I walked past. Old Mrs. Alvarez suddenly remembered urgent errands whenever I waved. Linda had whispered the narrative so smoothly. He just won't comply, it's sad really. That people started protecting their own peace by avoiding mine. That's the real HOA special, turning decent folks into extras in someone else's power fantasy. I never argued in public, never raised my voice. I just kept swimming when the posted rules allowed, and kept every single receipt. Patience isn't flashy, but it's lethal when the other side is busy digging. Then came the morning that changed everything. I unlocked the gate at 7:01, same as I had for months, sun just kissing the water. Linda exploded through the side entrance like she'd been waiting in the bushes all night. Phone up, red light blinking. You are trespassing. I'm calling 911 right now. She dialed with theatrical flair, voice loud enough for the whole cul-de-sac. Yes, officer, resident refusing to leave HOA property, aggressive, won't surrender the key, I fear for my safety. The dispatcher's calm questions floated through the speaker. Is the pool privately owned? Are there signs indicating closure? Has this been through proper civil channels? Linda's answers got shorter, loopier. It's under our authority section, whatever he's been warned repeatedly. The longer she talked, the more the desert air felt like it was holding its breath. Sirens never screamed. 2 patrol cars rolled in slow and professional. Officers stepped out, sunglasses reflecting the ridiculousness of it all. Linda launched into her rehearsed speech, gesturing like a courtroom drama extra. He ignores every notice. He's undermining the entire board. One cop glanced at the posted hours, then at the gate that had been open since I arrived. "Ma'am, this looks like a civil dispute. Do you have documentation proving exclusive ownership?" Linda's smile twitched. That's when my son Tyler, home for the weekend from his shift with the county sheriff's office, strolled through the same gate carrying 2 iced coffees like it was any normal Saturday. "Morning, Dad. Everything good?" He wore jeans and a plain t-shirt, but when he saw the badges he casually flipped open his wallet. Gold Star caught the light. "Deputy Tyler Hayes, just visiting family. Mind if I observe?" The temperature dropped 10 degrees. Linda's mouth opened, closed, opened again. The officers straightened instinctively. One asked, voice even, "Ma'am, you stated you feared for your safety. Can you describe the specific threat?" Silence. "You called emergency services for pool access at posted hours?" Linda tried the bylaws again, voice cracking like cheap laminate. "We have rules." The lead officer cut in gently but firmly. "Rules don't turn a resident into a criminal, and 911 isn't customer service for HOAs." Tyler didn't gloat. He simply asked, "Can we see the deed showing the HOA owns this parcel outright? Or the recorded easement granting removal powers?" Linda's clipboard suddenly looked like a child's toy. No deed. No easement. Just her word against 30 pages of my quiet, dated, copied to everyone paper trail. The officers documented the call as misuse of emergency resources. Linda stood there shrinking in real time, pastel polo suddenly too big for the woman inside it. Neighbors who'd been pretending to water plants drifted closer. Phones came out, not to record me but her. The narrative she'd spent months building cracked like cheap desert clay. Within 10 days the board sent a bland legal letter retracting every fine, pending full policy review. At the next meeting Linda sat in the back row for the first time in years, mute while residents asked questions she used to shut down with a smile. Why were cameras installed without a vote? Why were rules enforced on only one family? The board promised transparency they'd never delivered before. Linda's enforcement privileges were temporarily suspended. Translation, permanently neutered. The cameras stayed, but their footage was never weaponized again. The pool went back to being just a pool, kids laughing, retirees floating, my family swimming at sunrise without an audience. Linda still lives 3 streets over. She waves now, tight-lipped, the kind of wave that says she's counting the days until her term ends. The clipboard is gone. The voice that once boomed for the community now barely carries past her own mailbox. And the neighborhood? Conversations flow again. Mrs. Alvarez brings over tamales and actually stays to chat. The fear that had coiled around us like a rattler finally slithered away. I never yelled. I never sued. I simply refused to let someone rewrite reality with nothing but a smile and a stack of selective citations. Because here's the dirty little secret every power-tripping HOA Karen forgets. The same rules they worship can be turned around and used as the rope they hang themselves with. Paper doesn't lie. Badges don't bluff. And karma doesn't need drama. It just needs the truth to show up on time. True or false? The real abuser of power was the resident who kept swimming by the posted rules, or the woman who weaponized community standards until the community finally saw her for what she was. Drop your verdict below. Because in the end, the only thing more satisfying than watching a bully fall is watching her trip over the exact rules she spent years sharpening.